Good morning, Questers. I wanted to talk about a couple things today. I wanted to talk about some of the things I've been working on this week. I wanted to encourage you guys in your projects that you guys are working on. And then I also wanted to kind of touch on board game mechanics. What's a board game mechanic? Where can you find a list to kind of draw from for inspiration or just to see what other things are out there? When you come up with a theme, right? You sometimes want to find something that matches that theme. And so we'll kind of talk about that. So, starting off, I just want to encourage you guys. Um, you have some great ideas out there. I know I've been interacting with Lydia a little bit. I know that she has some cool ideas for her 9 card game. That competition is still on if you want to join in. Currently, we have Lydia participating and a couple others. If you want to participate in that, if you guys are just kind of lurking in the background, kind of interested, but maybe not committing to that, that's okay. There'll be other ones in the future. And this one, like Lydia, might be the one who wins it. And some of you guys might be thinking, like, well, what is it in for? What is there in it for me? If you come up with that game, um, maybe I'll stick it up on the Game Crafter if it's something that works and we can get it printed. And maybe what's the deadline for that? Let's plan out a month. So let's say a month from today. So we'll just kind of think 4 Mondays down the road. It'll be due, and we will then see what you guys have created, and we can get a print and play copy. You can send it to me. I will then test it, and then so we'll say like 2 weeks, depending on how many submissions there are, maybe 1 week. Then I will declare the winner, and we'll see if we can get a copy of that printed off of the Game Crafter. So kind of exciting. I could even throw it up there on the Game Crafter for available for people to purchase, and I'll send whoever the winner is a copy of that game, and should be a fun thing. So moving on, what have I been working on this week? Well, I've been able to work on a couple miniature painting. That's one of the main things I've been working on. Here's this little, this is Beorn, who's from Lord of the Rings, little character. We've also got Thranduil, who I've been working on for my brother, kind of doing some cool paints with them. Probably won't be able to see those very well. This is low res, but maybe I'll post some pictures of those later. My brother Aaron is not on here. I was going to kind of keep it secret from him until I'm done doing them, and I can send them to him so you can see them in person and live, because it's always better. Sometimes photos don't do miniatures justice. So I've also been working on just kind of reworking a little bit of my sourdough game. One of the playtesters kind of got back to me and said it was fun, it was great, but there was a couple of the recipes in the game that just felt like they were either not super beneficial to winning, whether you had the choice between hitting the number 12 or completing the recipe. It just wasn't, it just felt like it wasn't good either way. So I was like, well, how can I make the recipes a little bit more engaging? Maybe that's what the game needs more than just simplifying those recipes, making the recipes more like, oh, I've achieved this. I was able to make the right combo. So I'm thinking of introducing just a couple different icons into the game so that you maybe have different ingredients. Then you can create these different recipes based off of those ingredients. So it's an idea. I'll be working on it this week to try to get it done by Friday. So that's sort of this is what I'm doing this week. And so in that, I encourage you guys under this post, when I post this video, to write down some of the things that you are looking forward to working on this week. And then on Friday, we'll check back in and see if you completed those things. And that's what sort of this kind of back and forth of just asking where you guys are at in your projects, and hopefully just encourage you guys and kind of create a structure where you guys are encouraged and to complete those things. Obviously, if you don't meet those goals, it's not like, oh, bad you, but at the same time, we want to be here to make sure that you are um, working on your projects and getting those across the finish line. Finally, let's talk about mechanics. What are mechanics? So mechanics are how games work, right? There's a lot of different mechanics out there, and a mechanic is essentially a a thing in a game that is usually like something that you are doing over and over again, right? There's maybe you're just say like it's really simple mechanic is in uh, War, right? You know the game War. It's super easy where you divide up a normal deck of cards and then you just lay out a card, right? Laying out a card, that's a mechanism. You just drawing off the top randomly, laying down a card. That's a mechanic. Um, Then there are worker placement is a really popular one, and that's sort of the one where there are different actions on a board, and you have a limited amount of like units or people, and you can place those on those spots to take actions, and other people may block those actions from you being able to take them. Another one is I think it's Catan, which is more of, I guess you would almost call it a drafting game. I don't know if you guys don't agree with that. It's okay. You can say otherwise, but it's sort of a drafting game where there are things that you need to get. There's rolling of the dice at the mechanism, and then you gain resources, and then you use those resources to build buildings, which is you're drafting those buildings into your retinue, and then those increase your probability of getting those resources, right? Those are two games that people are pretty familiar with. There's action selection. One of my favorite games, Scythe, uses action selection. So you've got different actions and you select those, and it's also a engine builder, right? So as the game progresses, you are able to build it out the game so that you have more options, and taking a particular action has more effect. Another really popular game is Wingspan or Wormspan. Those are also engine building, right? You build out a cave or you build out an environment like a swamp or a garden. I actually haven't played Wingspan. It's a little confession, but I have played Wormspan. I own Wormspan, and so you build out a cave, and then as you explore that cave, each time you build that cave out longer, add more dragons, it adds more of a benefit, and so you're building these engines that cause you as a player to then advance in the game. And so these are a couple different ones, right? There's bingo, which is just kind of like really just like all random, right? You're trying to draw lines on a sheet, and there's action points, right? Each person has a certain amount of action points, and you once you use up those action points, your turn ends. I have a game that I'm working on, and it's basically done. It's called Merchant Kings, and each person has only two action points that they can take per turn, and then there's available four different actions, and then they can place. They can decide which one of those two actions they want to take in order to either to trade or to travel or to um, upgrade their boat or to um, add on to their boat. And so these are the sort of the different actions that they have. So that's what a mechanic is. There's a huge list of mechanics with you can click on them and it'll give you a description of what those mechanics on BGG, which is the Board Game Geek website. All you have to do is look up board game mechanics, and BGG I think will come up as a top of like a list, and it's a huge long list of a bunch of different recognized mechanics in board games. So there we go. That was today. Questers, I encourage you guys, keep going out there, keep making great games, and thanks for hanging out today. And good luck.